3 more episodes begin with the fairy tale wedding at Windsor Castle, then detail a descent into increasingly negative headlines, palace tensions, and the Duke of Sussex describing in the strongest ever terms the breakdown with his brother. He says there was a furious row at a family summit.
It was terrifying to have my brother scream and shout at me, and my father say things that just simply weren't true, and my grandmother, quietly sit there and sort of take it all in.
Prince Harry says he was blocked from seeing the Queen alone.
The saddest part of it was this wedge created between myself and my brother, so that he's now on the institution side.
And he accuses his brother's press officials of briefing the media against him and his wife. The palace even publishing a statement on behalf of both brothers, he says, that he did not approve.
They were happy to lie to protect my brother, and yet for 3 years they were never willing to tell the truth to protect us.
We watched with broadcaster Afia Hogan and royal author Katie Nicholl.
This, I think, really busts open in a very dramatic and damaging way is how awful relations were and continue to be between the two brothers.
This is a good old-fashioned fallout between two brothers, and I actually think less so their wives, and their wives have been dragged into it.
Critical press coverage, the couple say, led the Duchess of Sussex to question her life.
All of this will stop if I'm not here.
For the first time, her mum and husband talk about that period.
I remember her telling me that she had wanted to take her own life. That's not an easy one for a mom to hear. And
I didn't deal with it particularly well. I dealt with it as institutional Harry as opposed to husband Harry. And looking back on it now, I hate myself for it.
But it is Harry and William's clearly broken relationship that will leave lingering questions. The day after the Oprah interview, we see him receiving a text from Prince William.
Wow. He's just got a text. Yeah, he's just got a text from his brother.
We're not told what it said. And once again, Savannah, Harry and Meghan's main target is the media and the British press. They talk heartbreakingly about Meghan having a miscarriage during her legal battle with the Daily Mail, which she, of course, won. Now, that battle was over the letter that the Daily Mail published that she wrote to her father that was, of course, private. Now, Harry says how disturbed he was. He says we can't say it was because of that, but he clearly points at that as a huge stress on the couple. Savannah, he now says that they are moving on, but you're left really wondering how they do that.
All right, Keir, thank you. We got a lot to unpack from those overnight episodes. Also at Buckingham Palace for us this morning, NBC royal commentator Daisy McAndrew. Daisy, good morning.
Yeah, Daisy, good to see you. I mean, before we get into the nitty-gritty, it just seems really hard for us to figure out how those brothers are ever going to reconcile after all of these bombshells that keep dropping. I mean, you don't even see that there's a road back.
I couldn't agree more. As I watched all 3 hours of this Netflix show this morning, I kept thinking, what would William and Kate think about these constant accusations and revelations? And one of the things I kept thinking was that it's very often when you have a family row, where if you want to try to patch it up, you will take some responsibility. You'll say, I've been really hurt by what you've done. Here are all the things you've done, but maybe I've done some things wrong too. And that tends to be the first way that you can start to build bridges. There was nothing of that from Harry and Meghan this morning about how perhaps they might take a little bit of responsibility of how things have gone wrong. And I think that's one of the reasons why I personally think there can be very, very little coming back from all these revelations and accusations about William behaving badly, William being unkind to his brother, William shouting and screaming, as Keir was saying in his package, at that Sandringham meeting about how Harry and Meghan were going to leave the royal family.
Yeah, it is, and you wonder how the palace reacts. I mean, what you haven't seen is return fire from William or from King Charles. How do you expect them to react?
Well, we know, because we heard just in the last few moments, that they are not planning on issuing any sort of statement anytime soon. And I think that is how they would have hoped to have reacted to this. We know it's such a cliche, but cliches are true, that their motto is never complain, never explain, and that's what they're going to stick to for the moment. We did see some of those accusations that William had gaslighted Meghan and Harry, and what they meant by that was that after the Oprah interview, that was when these stories about, well, in fact, Meghan is a bully, that those stories started to come out, and that was what they were referring to about gaslighting. But certainly I think the relationship between the king and his younger son Harry have never got as bad as the relationship between the two brothers has got, but I think it must have got worse today.
Yeah, and let's not forget there's a book coming, Harry's memoir, in January. Daisy, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Daisy. And by the way, on Netflix, Harry and Meghan is not in the #1 slot, even though it's been out, and there are new episodes in the #2 slot. So Wednesday.
Wednesday? Okay. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Oh, that's great.
I also have you seen it?
Yeah, it's really good.
I really want to see that.
I just learned what row means as well. Daisy
row. It's fight. You didn't know that? It's British for fight.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.